What's up, guys? Welcome to the Steel Mindset. Today we're going to talk about an issue. It's not an issue, it's just about getting older. This video came about because I wanted to, being in my 50s, I wanted to kind of stop aging process if it's possible a little bit, or just try to feel a little bit more vibrant. Maybe there's something I can do to help myself feel like I did in my younger years. Because obviously, listen, everyone says after 50 your life changes. It's true. It gets better, but it also the body changes. You're not the same anymore. You're not as vibrant as you used to be. You're not, mentally acute as you used to be. It's just everything changes. But I did some research on this, and I got to tell you, there are things that we can do in our 50s, in our 40s, even starting our 40s, even better. And it's just about taking care of yourself that can help us feel younger, help us feel more vibrant, and maybe slow down that aging process a little bit. Hey, listen, I've seen it. I've seen it done. And I've seen people in their 70s, and you've seen it too, I'm sure, looking like they're in their best shape of their lives. And it's definitely possible. So I'm going to share some things that I found here that maybe you can do, or maybe implement into your own life to help let your 50s be some of the best years of your life moving forward. And listen, I'm probably the biggest hypocrite of them all. I don't practice everything that I'm preaching right now. So honestly, making up this video and doing the research is a learning process for me as well. So keep that in mind. All right, guys, so I came up with 5 different things that you can do mentally and physically that could help you basically feel invigorated and help you live your best life in your 50s. First thing is, number 1 is prioritize physical activity. Now, guys, I can't emphasize enough. I'm talking about exercise. I'm talking about doing exercise routines and getting to the doctor. And yes, definitely get to the doctor. And I can't emphasize enough how you need to get the advice of a doctor before you take up any type of an exercise routine to make sure your heart is good, make sure you're able to do so, and get recommendations from your doctor as far as how to stay healthy too. This is for entertainment purposes only. This is some research that I found. It's a general aspect of how to stay healthier in your later years in your 50s, but definitely talk to your doctor as well. The guideline says that you should aim for about 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic exercise, like maybe taking a brisk walk outside. And they say to do 2 days a week about strength training activity. To be honest with you, I think you should do 3 solid days a week of strengthening exercise. Hit the gym, exercises that promote strength, working with weights and things like that. It builds testosterone, thickens the muscle, including having protein later on. But having that physical strength building exercise is so vitally important for a man, especially in his 50s. You should definitely keep up with that. And I would say try to gear towards 2 to 3 days a week of doing that, and accompanying it with maybe some aerobic exercises like they're saying, like some walks. Just take some time every day to do some type of exercise. It doesn't have to be hitting the gym every single day. You need your time to rest, but you definitely want to do your strengthening exercises as well. Mobility and flexibility, because when it does come time for you to basically have to do something strenuous, if you don't keep your muscles and your joints flexible and keep yourself in a mobile state, you're going to end up hurting yourself, breaking a bone, pulling a muscle or something like that. So you always want to keep yourself mobile and flexible. Stretch, do a lot of stretching, a lot of warm-ups and a lot of stretching, strengthening exercises. Keep a regular activity. Find something that you like to do and do it, and be consistent with it. Number 2, guys, you got to nourish the body, okay? It's giving yourself fuel. I mean, more than ever when you're in your 50s, you have to watch what you eat and you have to put the right things into your body. That's extremely important. I know everybody says it. You got to have a balanced diet, balance out your grains, your vegetables, your meats, your proteins, all that stuff. But what I would say a step further, you have to go make sure that a man in his 50s, keeping the testosterone high, feeding the muscles with all that exercise you're doing, you got to eat right. You got to have your proteins. Proteins are your building blocks. It is the fuel that you're going to give yourself, okay, in order to keep your muscles and your bones strong. Find a way to have a high protein diet. Doesn't have to be red meat. Could be chickens and veals. It could be some pork, okay? Stick to the non-fatty stuff, but definitely a protein shake. There's a lot of protein shakes you could take. Even a protein bar, once a day doesn't hurt. But keep a high protein diet. I can't tell you how important that is for a man to keep the protein in their diet And in addition to basically exercising, there's just a great combination to really help you feel vibrant and young. And in terms of food, okay, you have to try to cut out all of that pre-processed food, high sugars, high fat content. More than ever, a man in their 50s, you really got to cut out that fast food. I know we had a good time with it when we were young, and we were able to eat whatever we wanted and burned it off by the afternoon. It doesn't work. Your body doesn't work that way anymore. Your metabolism doesn't work a million miles an hour like you have when you're in your 20s. You got to make sure you keep that fat content low, cut out the fast foods, splurge every once in a while. Of course, got to have some fun. Take more days to eat better and less days to eat bad, if that makes any sense. And of course, stay hydrated, drink plenty of water. Try to keep your drink of choice to be water. If you have to drink a lot, okay, drink water more than you drink any type of sodas or beers or anything like that. In terms of liquor, hey guys, listen, I'm in my 50s and I know how it feels to be able to have that glass of cognac or bourbon or whiskey, or get that good aged whiskey. And yeah, I like all of them. And it feels great to be able to have a drink every now and then, at night, socially and things like that. Not to saying you got to cut that out completely, but you really got to keep your alcohol content low. You can't let your liver work as hard as it needs to work in your 50s, because it doesn't have the same ability that you did when you were out going out drinking every night in your 20s. It's not the same anymore. So you got to keep your drinking at a lower content. It's also like a lot of useless sugars that basically are going to turn into fat. Have your occasional drink, but be responsible with it. Do it occasionally, and just have more days when you're not drinking and less days when you are drinking. So when you are drinking, you really do enjoy it. Now, for the mind, number 3, you have to cultivate a strong social connection. Try to maintain strong relationships with family, relationships with friends. Just have acquaintances, have people that you are, stay close to and you'll be able to share with. Mentally, it's a great thing to maintain relationships with people. Having a partner is always a great thing. But hey, listen, if you're divorced and you don't have a partner, find some peace in yourself. Find some peace being by yourself. Find yourself a little bit. Take advantage of the time to rediscover yourself, especially after a long divorce or a long relationship that wasn't working, it was toxic. Find that time to rediscover yourself and can rekindle maybe some relationships with people, some friends that you kind of gave away because of, being in a bad marriage. So find a way to maintain relationships with people, keep them strong and keep them healthy. Mentally, there's nothing better you can do when you're in your 50s. Number 4, you got to prioritize sleep and rest. Now, after you're spending all that time basically exercising and you're doing your strengthening exercises and you're taking your brisk walks and your time outside going hiking and things like that, you have to make sure that you spend at least 7 to 9 hours a night getting good restful sleep, if possible. Okay, that is your minimum. Is about 7 hours if you can. Obviously, we get less sometimes. Try to stick to that 7 to 9 hour frame in terms of getting some sleep. And also take the time to rest your soul, rest your mind, and just keep away from things. Stress, I don't have to tell you about stress. Manage your stress. Find different ways that you can manage your stress. Stress can definitely make your life very difficult. Try some deep breathing. Try some yoga or Tai Chi. Join some kind of a martial arts that really will help the mind and the body just kind of get in tune with each other. But rest and relaxation, especially when you're in the 50s, is very important. Work hard at your job. Work hard at keeping healthy, work hard at keeping in shape, but definitely take the time to also rest and enjoy yourself. Final, number 5, you have to stay on top of your health. I know we're guys and we don't like to go to doctors. I hate going to doctors. Again, I don't practice what I preach. I'm preaching all this stuff to you, but I don't practice it. I don't go to doctors. I hate going to doctors. I feel like it's just, extra time of other things I need to do. But yes, you have to go to doctor. You have to make sure you're maintaining all your levels, your cholesterol levels, your blood pressure, make sure your sugar levels are low. You want to make sure when you're in your 50s, you keep up with colonoscopy, and all the things that a doctor needs for you to do. Bad habits, guys. If you are a smoker, please try to quit smoking. That's probably one of the worst things that you can basically do to your body. Take toxins out of your blood. Nicotine, smoking, all that stuff. You're putting toxins in your blood. I know a lot of us like to smoke other things, and that's fine. But do everything in moderation. Try to cut out as many toxins out of your blood as possible. And if you have a bigger drug problem, I don't have to tell you, you shouldn't be watching this. You should definitely try to find a way to talk to a therapist or get to rehab or something like that. Try to get yourself some help and cut the toxins out of your body. That is one major way that you can stay healthier in your 50s. I quit smoking a little while ago, and I'm glad that I did, because I've never felt better. I can breathe better, my lungs feel better, my heart feels better, I'm not out of breath anymore, I don't smell like smoke. I just feel a lot better. And another thing that can help you feel healthier mentally and physically, be out with nature, guys. If you're able to take some nature walks or hiking and things like that, you definitely need to do that, because it just really calms the body. Ever since I moved into this new area, I feel like this area just, being able to take a walk in the woods and just be a little quiet and, see the animals and the birds chirping, and it does something to the mind and the soul. It calms you, it lowers your stress, and also gives you some exercise to be able to be outdoors. Definitely get out there, be outdoors, go camping, play with your knives, go whittle, go make something. It's all good stuff. So guys, yes, I need to practice what I preach. I'm gonna be the first one that will tell you that basically all this stuff sounds great, but I'm learning from it as well. By doing the research in this video, I says, you know what? I don't do that, I don't do that, I don't do that. I'm starting to do that, and I'm doing that, and I'm feeling better for it. I just started getting back to the gym. Got a long way to go, but you know what? A month, 2 months in right now, and I feel so much better. But it's about being consistent and sticking with it, sticking with a routine, sticking with trying to feel better, trying to put good things into your body and less bad things into your body. Exercise the mind and the body. If you're in your 50s, your 60s, and you don't want to feel like you're in your 50s and 60s, try these routines, and I think you'll feel a lot better. Please comment, engage with me in the chat, and I would love to hear from you, and let me know what you have done, or maybe some other suggestions you have as far as feeling better and feeling like you're in your 20s when you're in your 50s. Have a good one, guys. Joe Steele from the Steel Mindset. See you in the next video. Ciao.